What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, right? In defense of black Americans. So, I just talked about the Stephen A. Smith thing, right? But King Richards did a live yesterday about the players, the soccer footballers over there, we call them soccer players over here, who got, you know, called the N-word all on Twitter so much it was trending, I guess in the UK, maybe here too. I don't know because I'm not on Twitter. But because they lost the game, right? And he was talking about racism, you know, but the bulk of the show wasn't about racism. It was about black Americans and how we don't care about people abroad and how, I guess racism in the UK is our fault because we're no good. And in defense of black Americans, I'm going to make this concise. And I saw something on Dynasty where brothers was talking about brothers going, us black Americans going over to Africa, and some of us bringing African American ideologies to Africa, or hood ideologies to Africa. So this is my Johnny Cochran-esque defense of us black Americans. So here's Exhibit A. People like to bring up black Americans and lump us in with Americans, and at the same time lump us out of Americans. So what I mean is this. Since everybody talks about their nationality, right? If Americans go abroad cutting up, there's no distinction. And normally when they say Americans are going abroad cutting up, it's predominantly, normally, white Americans going to Europe, going to the Caribbean, going to Africa, going to Asia, really acting a fool. Predominantly, that's the norm. But somehow, we get a part of that blame. The vast majority of our experiences, overseas aren't bad, but it's the same thing where white folks do the majority of the dirt. Your inner slave, wherever you are, kicks in, and it's, they're individuals. But when we go over there predominantly and do right by people, when we got our people who cut up, then they're the representation of all of us, and you skip over all the people doing right. So it's like, okay, this is what we're doing. So we're going to play this game. And, tell me if I'm lying. Part 2, Exhibit B. Same thing what happens with black people in America. Just because you're black and in America does not mean you're black as in foundational or ADOS, descended from slaves. So this is what other black people from all over the world, they come here, just like I was talking about with Stephen A. Smith. When you disrespect other people, or when you do dirt in this country, or when you do something that you're not supposed to do in this country, that's when you're black. Or when you're trying to get, say, some black benefits, that's when you're black. You know what I'm saying? So when you're trying to get over one way or another, that's when you're black. But if you've gotten over, or if you do something positive, that's when you're your nationality. So basically, we're here to use as the scapegoat for your bad behavior. And we're here to use as a scapegoat to differentiate yourself for your good behavior. So, like I said, when you're doing great, you're your nationality. When you're doing bad, you're black, American, which is, but people don't say, hey, that's a problem. Exhibit number, whatever. Exhibit C, like J Electronica. So, it's kind of interesting that, you normalize disrespect. See, in defense of black Americans, we have this kind of Irish thing going on with us where we clown each other, we talk about each other, playful banter. You know, that some people can't take as disrespect. I'm not even gonna, you know, taking jabs at people. But normally these are people you cool with. But other groups, no, y'all actually disrespectful. Y'all actually mean that. That's actually what's in your heart. You know, and when I say disrespectful, what I'm saying is somebody may be comical or have a quick wit and snap jokes at you. They're just jokes. But you don't snap jokes at us like it's funny. No, y'all make insults or passive aggressive attacks in a sense, microaggressions. And see, when people go, whoa, oh, this for real? Then it's like, oh, my brother. And it's like, wait a minute. We're not going around doing that to you other groups of people. See, we don't go around throwing rocks and hiding our hands. So in defense of us, you've normalized disrespecting us, and while we've normalized accepting you and think we can play with you like you family, but at the same time, we're not family, because obviously when we joke with you, you know, you're too big for that. But when you're talking down to us, you don't say, hey, you know what, we need to chill that out. That's a little arrogant, especially when we trying to be black to get benefits around here. So it's like, oh, okay, all right, this is what we doing. So the disrespect is just right there. You know, I got called an African booty scratcher when I was a kid. Do you want to talk about all the disrespectful things you did as a kid and your family did to kids? And the things you have done as an adult and the things your family do to adults? Since since we're gonna do this, we're gonna put that part on the table. You just gonna say you did absolutely nothing. Because if African booty scratch is all you got, it's childish, it's juvenile nonetheless. But that means you didn't have any adult experiences like that. Exhibit D did a video about how half of New Jersey pulled up when the African cat and his family, when a white dude bullied him. This is what was interesting in defense of black Americans. In contrary to what King Rich says, when somebody across the world gets, get offended, we're not marching and fighting for them. So you're going to act like we weren't part of apartheid? You're going to act like, oh, okay, no problem. You're going to act like, we haven't been coming back and forth to Africa? No problem. We're going to skip that. You're going to act like, black people weren't at the forefront of trying to stop things or how can I say this? To help things in Africa? We get, because of the things that were going on in there. Now, Exhibit E. Let's talk about black on black crime. So, when we talk about race and racism, people bring up black on black crime in America, but do people bring up black on black crime in black countries? See what I'm saying? So when we're talking about racism and oppression, usually in predominantly black countries, of course, black on black crime exists, just like Asian on Asian crime would exist in Asia, and white on white crime exists in Europe, right? Or Russia. It exists. But there is no system of another race of people holding you down in your country, really. Because you got the numbers. You could be the system. You are the system, to be perfectly honest. But that's our fault too. So when we're a minority population, and America, because we're in America. America is the novelty. Everybody wants to be an American, and then at the same time, we're what you use to be an American, but at the same time, we're not a good people. In defense of us, like, well, why don't you just separate yourself from us immediately when you get here? Like at least we respect the people that do that. It's not this person versus that person, but it's like, why ingratiate yourself, in our positive culture and then magnify our negative culture? And then, you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I might talk about this on a live one day. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Peace.